Welcome back to Hope, Heartful Outreach, Positive Encouragement. Continuing my goal to meet others who would agree to a spontaneous interview about fathers, I surfed into the Bold Bean Coffeehouse on a Sunday afternoon. My writing group meets here bi-weekly, so I felt it was a safe environment. After ordering my favorite sparkling matcha tea, I introduced myself and made my request to 5 different female patrons. Each one was very friendly. 2 declined to chat. 3 shared their thoughts off camera, but did not want to be recorded because they did not have a positive relationship with their dads. As I was about to give up, I noticed a man with a beard and a teenage young lady having a coffee chat and playing chess. Well, it can't hurt to try one more time. So I asked, and I'm glad I persevered. The background noise is a little bit distracting in this message, but it's definitely worth the listen. So now I'd like you to meet Christopher White. Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Beverly, and you are?
I'm Christopher White.
Christopher White. I just ran into Christopher White and his goddaughter here in Bold Bean in Jacksonville, Florida. And they're a little camera shy, but he was willing to talk to me about Father's Day. So thank you for doing that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. So, Christopher, first of all, are you a father?
I am not a father.
You're not a father, okay? So, tell me.
I'm not a biological father.
You're not a biological father. Okay, so why did you point out not a biological father? Are you a father otherwise?
Yeah, I'm an educator, so I have a lot of single family students that come from single family homes, and I'm usually chosen as the big brother or father figure for a lot of them, which is a role that I accept with a lot of honor and love, and I take it serious as a father figure or male figure for a lot of my students.
Right.
My goddaughter here, she's my self-proclaimed only godchild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's going to 10th grade right now, and I was her teacher in 6th grade. So we've been on a 4-year journey.
Wow, 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told her I'm going to see her through college and the rest of life. I'll be here.
Outstanding.
So that's why I say not a biological father, but her father is not present. So
Yes.
even though I'm not taking up all the roles and responsibility of what her father would be doing or should be doing, whatever part she needs me to play in that journey, I'm willing to play.
That's awesome.
Along with partnership with her mom as well.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's wonderful. Actually, that's really precious because for girls, it's a different kind of a challenge with the girl. I'd like to ask her a question, but she probably won't answer me. But I know for myself that, when you are a girl, you need to have a male figure in your life that's a good, safe person to be around for various reasons, so that you can learn, what kind of partner to look for in life and what is good and bad male-female relationships. Do you think I'm right? Yes. You can just say yes or no. Yes. Okay, I don't want to, force you to be a part of this interview. So I think that's wonderful. Yeah. So what do you teach?
So I was a history school teacher. Well, I am still a history school teacher, but I moved to one of the deans at my school most recently, so I'm no longer in the classroom.
Okay.
So I'm a role of a dean at a middle school here.
Okay, so you are the dean at a middle school.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
One of the deans.
One of the deans.
Yeah, we have 3 all together, but I'm one of the deans.
Okay, that's great. So as you have been, working with young people, what are some of the challenges that you see, especially amongst those who
are maybe in a single family situation.
That is the major challenge.
I mean, a single parent, I should
Yeah,
say.
that is a major challenge. Usually the single parent is mom. And I've been working with at hope kids. Some people say at risk. I don't like that term. I like at hope.
I like that.
Since 1999, from nonprofit to the classroom. And the overwhelming, sad statistical data shows that many of my kids come from single parent homes, single parent homes, where it's either mom or grandma. And I think with the balance of masculine and feminine energy, I think kids need to see both. Just like girls need to see a healthy male relationship with them, boys need to see that so they know how to treat their wife or their daughter or any woman in society.
Right.
Not as an object or a thing, but as another human being having a whole human experience. And you see that model with the way your dad treats your mom and the way your mom treats your dad. You know, kids are sponges, so we model to them what it looks like when they get grown and how to interact with that other human being that might be of the opposite sex or the same sex.
Right.
Or men learning how to deal with men, and it's not always a competition. Or
Right.
It's not always, there's more to talk about than sports and women and money and cars. There's so much more to talk about,
Yeah,
like
right
feelings sometimes. And then a relationship with women, a man can sit down and just have an intelligent conversation with you without wanting anything physical or sexual out of the conversation, and that is modeled to you from, your parents. And going back to when you asked me what the problem was, it's that male component missing from so many of my students' family. But it's not that they're missing; they might be around the corner. They're just not present. They might be in the same city. They're just not present. And some of them just took off and they can't even find them, or incarcerated, or dead in many of my kids' cases. So that's a major problem for me. And though I can't fill the gap for all of them, I look at helping people these days like a drowning victim. If somebody's drowning, the less they fight and want to receive the help, the more apt you are to save them.
That's right.
Or help them save themselves.
That's right.
And so that's kind of where I am. If it's a student that steps in and say, "Hey, Mr. White, I'd like your help. I would like you to be a guide for me. I'm willing to help." But I do know it's impossible to save the world yourself. So that's one thing that helps keep me balanced and hopeful.
Yes.
Because if you try to save the whole world, you're going to drain and lose hope. You become somewhat of a cynic. And it's like, but I think if you just give up. But I think if you're willing to reach back to the ones that's reaching up and receiving your help, you're more apt to realize that there are people that want help. They're not just moaning and complaining. They just want to pull you down to drown with them. There are some people that are willing to. This is my wife, the DJ for the day. And she and I created this event for the sole purpose of helping with anxiety, depression, and mental health with Black and brown people.
Yes.
So this is a space that normally is predominantly white. So we do this event every second Sunday in the month to invite more Black and brown people to a space that you wouldn't normally go to because you think it's not for you.
Right.
It's because it's not in that box of blackness that we check off. And so this is she does a type of music called lo-fi, some jazz. Me and my goddaughter are sitting here and we're playing chess and she's telling me about her life from the last month. And we're just sitting and talking. We're not dancing on the tables. We're not dropping it like the side.
Chilling.
Just being humans.
Yeah, I think it's great to just be chilling. Actually, my writing group meets here like every other Friday.
Okay.
And we right in the space where she is.
You should bring her out on the second Sundays. That'd be nice.
Well, I didn't know about this. I just happened to surf in here today because I said, let me go over there and see if I might find somebody I can talk to.
You came for a purpose to talk to me.
So I'm glad I got a chance to meet.
And so I try to be consistent with her. She's invited every second Sunday. If I don't see her throughout the month, second Sundays of every month, I know I'm going to see her. We're going to sit, play some chess, we're going to talk, and again, I can't do everything for her that her father should, but this is one of the things that you can have a healthy conversation with me. We can talk about anything we want.
Right. So tell me about your father.
My father passed in early 2000. So he's no longer with us, but he's with us. You know, he's no longer with us, and he's with us. And I say that because a lot of things that he taught me, and a lot of ways he treated me, I in turn treat other people the way he taught me, which was fairness. My dad was the type of guy, he didn't scratch if he didn't itch, and he didn't laugh if it wasn't funny.
Okay.
That's the best way I can describe
Okay.
him. He was a hard-working man. He knew how to articulate himself, even if it brought tears, but he was able to talk and express his feelings without having to use his hands to express his feelings. He had a huge work ethic. He came home every night. He treated my mom
I want to make
with
sure that was
respect.
heard. You said he had a huge work ethic.
Huge work ethic.
Okay.
You know, and he didn't work. Some work ethics can be to avoid coming home. He liked coming home and take care of his family. He wanted to have conversations with me. He asked me about my day. He asked me to articulate and explain myself, especially when I did something wrong. Bro, tell me why you did it.
Okay.
And he respected my mom. My mom was in the workforce as well. Both of them were educators, retired educators, and he respected her as his equal. You know, and that was modeled to me, so it wasn't hard for me to model it to my wife and other women that I meet. You're having a whole different experience, but it doesn't make it any lesser because you're a woman.
Right.
And so he taught me that. He was brilliant, master degree, and then he went on to get his air conditioning and refrigeration license, and he invested in some properties, which he said, he used to tell me all the time, when I'm no longer here, this is for you and your mom. And so, you know, so my dad, he was a forward thinker. He wasn't perfect, as no human being is, but he was a great example of a father and a male to me in his lifetime.
You mind saying his name? Not to say both.
I was going to say that, Joe White.
Joe White?
Joe Irving White.
Joe Irving White.
Irving
I'll
White.
make sure to give him a tribute on
I
our blog.
appreciate it.
So that's, I mean, the person you
man.
described needs to be honored.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
try to
awesome.
honor him daily, even if
And I
not in
think-
words, but in actions.
What you're doing right now in mentoring your goddaughter is also honoring
I
her.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, it
Thank you.
really is.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I have one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is, I came across this anonymous quote that said, where the father is absent, there is a hole in a man. How do you respond to that? What do you think of that quote?
I feel whether any parent is absent, there's going to be a hole. You know, if the father is absent, there might be some attributes that's within him that comes from a more masculine side of you that you're missing, but also if your mother is missing, there's a quality in her that you're missing with your empathy towards others, or with your feelings you're missing that you could have got from mom, or if you have a mother that is intelligent, resourceful, she has huge character, then you know what to look for in the woman that you choose in life.
Right.
You know, so I think if either one of the parents is missing, there's going to be a hole there of what is modeled before you, of how you should navigate life. And then if they are there, sometimes their presence will cause holes in your life too, depending on what they're modeling.
Oh, you're speaking like a real educator. I think
So the
this is the
absence of
best
the presence.
response I have gotten to
I
that
appreciate
question. Mostly, you know, that's the first time that someone responded and said, you know, whether either parent is missing, there is a hole, and that's the absolute.
They both
truth.
have equal value. Even in nature, if there is not a male and female interaction, even the way plants grow, even the way bees pollinate,
Yeah.
you know, you need both. in order for growth, even in nature, you need both to interact, male and female.
Awesome.
So I think, and then again, if you have a bad example, a hole can be created there. So it's like,
put more holes in the situation.
correct, and which leads to the reason again why we're doing this event today. It's not even an event; we're just offering a space. Because we didn't take over the place; we're just offering a space. But it's because at this point in my life, I realize that I am what they're looking towards. And I think if most parents and adults that are of a certain age realize that our grandparents, they're retired. We are what the next generation is looking to for answers.
That's right.
And how they should behave in society, what they should look forward to. And, and I think a lot of adults with or without kids are forgetting to model that.
Right.
They're dealing with their own unhealed trauma. And so they're being poor models and great models for the next generation. And that's whether they're absent or present. Sometimes the absent is better for some kids.
Yeah.
Because the presence of that parent will create a whole horrible,
Yes.
more
destruction.
And then I'm blessed to slide in to a position in my goddaughter's life where, maybe her dad's inconsistency might cause more trauma than my consistency.
Yes.
My consistency might be better in her life, even if it's not as much rigid gap. So my consistency in her life may be better than his consistency had he been here.
Right.
It'll tell you what kind of damage he could have done, or what kind of good he could have done, but we can't tell because he's not present. So we don't really have any data to gauge that.
Well, outstanding. I promise not to take a lot of your time. Please say your name for me one more time.
Christopher White.
Christopher White. Thank you so much, Christopher, for your time. And I'm sure
Give me your name on the
Beverly Rivers is my name.
Beverly Rivers.
And the name of the broadcast is Hope, Heartful Outreach, Positive Encouragement. And we will be putting you in our week of blogs this week up until Father's Day to share your thoughts with the world. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so
Thank you for stopping
much.
to talk to me. Thank you.